Let's make sure the audio is working. All right, I think I shouldn't get that close to the microphone. Clearly, it's going to burn somebody's ears. But anyway, what music is this? So I'm listening to myself while on the stream, and it's just it's a very interesting experience. It's like I have this screen here with the StreamYard on this other, and then I have the YouTube that I'm trying to check to see the audio levels, how it is working. So, all right, let's begin. Today's conversation is going to be around the subject of failure, and actually just moments ago, I got some not so good news. It's not like deadly news or anything, but it's still news that broke my heart in a way. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I think when people think of failure, and the reason I want to talk about failure is because I was listening to, I think it was David Goggins earlier today. He said something about how people who usually talk about failure or embrace failure are people who have never really failed in their life, who have had a generally okay life. Basically, he was making the point that the reason why he talks so much about this, about failure, is because he has had to deal with it multiple times. Yep, he's had to deal with it multiple times, and so he understands it. But before we do that, let's get into the daily stoic. Maybe there's something there about failure today. Who knows? Man, life. Just do what you can. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. That's pretty much it. There's not much you can do about life. You just do what you can. You can blame everybody. Or you can take responsibility. But yeah, we'll talk about what happened that just tied into this whole failure conversation. Then, hey, Katie, good morning, or is it good afternoon? When you have friends across the world, it's hard to like good time of the day. I just insert time of the day, then good. So yeah, we'll talk about failure today because actually something happened that made me think about it. Even before that was after I'd written the topic. It just goes to show that the way life works, if you're not prepared for certain things, they will meet you wherever you are. So you might as well prepare for it. Might as well prepare for it. Katie. Anthony Angu. Hey, what do you do outside of YouTube for income? Just curious. I have a full-time job. I don't do YouTube for income, but that would be nice though. So yeah, I have a full-time job. I work as a Salesforce administrator. Does that work? Does that answer your question, Anthony? All right. It's almost 4 p.m. It's dark already. That's winter in Sweden. Yeah, I have a friend. I think I don't know if she's in Germany or where, somewhere in Europe. But there was a meme about what time it is during the day that at 3-4 o'clock is all dark. But before we get to that, let's jump right into what we do here on the live mass. This is day 6 of the 10 days of live mass. We're doing the daily stoic, and then we'll do, actually I'll start with the daily laws today and then move to the daily stoic later on. So alrighty. So month of December we've been talking and thinking about mortality a lot. And turn and face your mortality. That was day 4 was the universe within you. Day 5, immerse the mind in the moment. Today is day 6 of December 2021. A lifetime or dead time. Oh, this is interesting. I actually remember this article where Holiday wrote this article. A lifetime or dead time. I think you're going to like this one. I think this actually ties really well with the theme of failure. Let's do it. The time that you are alive is the only real possession that you have. Everything else that you have can be taken away from you. Your family, your house, your cars, your job. The time that you're alive is the only thing you truly possess, and you can give it away. You can give it away by working for other people. They own your time, and you can be miserable. You can give it away by reaching for external pleasures and distractions. spending the time that you have as a slave to different passions and different obsessions. Or you can make the time that you're alive your own. You can actually come and possess it and take ownership of this time and make each moment count. And when you do that, this means that time is yours. It's alive within you. It's green. It's growing. You own it and you're making it happen. Another way of looking at it, the way that I've always thought of it, is making things your own. Everything that you do in life is a process of making your own. Your time, your ideas, your mental life, and on and on and on. Daily law. Never waste a minute. Make today your own. Whether you're stuck in traffic, sick in bed, or working long hours. What do you think, Katie? Anthony? What do you think about making time your own? The sentence said earlier about, you can work for someone, you can give it away for working for other people, they own your time and you can be miserable. I like that it was can, because it's possible for you to actually give away your time, work for people and be happy. I think it's very possible. I know there's this idea that everybody has to be an entrepreneur and own a business, and I hopefully agree with having something other than a job, having multiple sources of income. I think it's foolhardy and risky to bet your whole life, your whole family, your whole livelihood on a single source of income. I don't think that's a very good idea. You never know what's going to happen. But this subject of a lifetime or dead time goes into failure. I'm thinking of how it ties to failure, where things may not happen the way you want, things may not work out the way you were expecting, but you can still use that moment and own it. Like, this is mine. I tried something, it didn't work out, then it's mine. I did what I could do. So yeah, a lifetime, dead time. I like that. I think an ownership of time goes with an acceptance of it. It's not something that just happens to you. It's something that is yours. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. Yeah, there's a longer article that Ryan Holiday wrote about lifetime or dead time. And what I remember from that article was the idea he was talking. I vaguely remember what he was talking about was when you're doing a job that you don't like. For example, let me say, I don't know, work at a warehouse, whatever, like a job that is very, I'd say, non-intellectual if you're an intellectual person, or non-manual if you're a manual person. And now you can use that job that you don't like. Their lifetime in that sense would be using it as an opportunity to learn something about yourself, to grow yourself, to better your skill. So you're not just throwing away and, oh, my life is wasting. What am I doing here? I'm miserable and everything. You're using that time. A lifetime is any time that is yours. So it means if you choose to take the time, it means you can actually change any time into a lifetime. I'll surely have to think more about this, but daily laws done. Let's move now to the daily stoic. By the way, this is just a side note. I've been trying to film overhead shots for this section because I'm too lazy to be moving my camera and setting it up in the living room and doing all those things. So I decided to figure out a way today, and I woke up this morning. It's a very interesting idea, and I found a way to put my camera up. You cannot see it because it's beyond here, but I found a way to put it up, and I'm so proud of myself because I'll be able to shoot after this. When I'm done with this stream, I have to shoot a video before I start work. So yeah, pretty excited about that actually, because I've been wanting to do this unboxing for almost a week now. I'm trying to find what is the best way to get this thing done, and I found it. Sometimes you just need to sit with a problem long enough and you find a solution, All right, December 6th. The sword dangles over you. This month of December for these two books has been all about mortality. So if this is the first time you're watching one of these streams, please don't be surprised if we're talking about some very, very dark topics. All right, the sword dangles over you. Don't behave as if you're destined to live forever. What's fated hangs over you. As long as you live and while you can, become good now. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 4:17. There's an ancient story of a courtier who had made light of the responsibilities of his king. To prove he was mistaken, the king arranged to switch places with the courtier. Is it courtier or courtier? I don't know. I'm mispronouncing this word probably. I'll just keep saying courtier. It just sounds cool. To prove he was mistaken, the king arranged to switch places with the courtier. It doesn't sound right. With a courtier, so he could experience what it was like to be king. To be a king. The king made one other adjustment, he hung a sword by a chair over the throne to illustrate the peril and burden of kingship as well as the constant fear of assassination. We call that dangling reminder of death and difficulty the sword of Damocles. The reality is that a similar sword hangs over all of us. Life can be taken from us at any moment, and that threat can send us in one of two directions. We can fear and dread it, or we can use it to motivate us to do good, to be good. Because the sword is dangling and there's nothing else to be concerned with, would you rather it catch you in the middle of some shameful, selfish act? Would you rather it catch you waiting to be good in the future? The sword dangles over you. I know the phrase the sword of Damocles is always about like a condemnation, a sentence waiting to happen. That fear, that anxiety of something is going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's definitely going to happen. And yeah, so that was the Daily Stoic. So let's talk about failure, tying in with this. Still in the beginning, something happened. Got some news that was not very good news. Something we're expecting to happen to have favorable outcome. The outcome wasn't very favorable. And for a moment, I was like, oh man, I really wanted this thing to work out. I was really hoping we're going to get this. This was going to be a huge win, not just for me, but for the people involved. But it didn't work out. And I had to call and talk a little bit and try to motivate the person involved. And like, you know what? It's just one time. It's the first time. You take it all over again. It's every disappointment is a blessing. I mean, I don't like that phrase, but it's really sometimes that's the only thing that you have to realize that sometimes things don't work out and all you can do is just try again. And yeah, is failure really that cool? I don't think so. I think failure sucks. I think people tell you to embrace failure haven't actually failed enough to realize how painful it can be. It's like somebody telling you, I don't know. I guess working out for people who've worked out for a long time is great, but then you work out for so long it becomes a habit that you forget how it is to start, and then you tell people, hey, working out is perfect, it's awesome. Of course it's awesome. You get healthy, you build abs, you get all those muscles and everything. That's great. But those first few weeks, those first few months when you're trying to build a habit, your body is screaming. It's not fun. The only way you're able to deal with it at that particular point is to look forward to what you're trying to accomplish, to have your mind, your eye set on what is motivating you. And most people don't realize that failure in that moment is not motivating. It's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not cool. But here's the thing. We have all failed at something. We have all failed at, I mean, when we were babies, I guess we had to walk at some point. So we had to fall, consider a failure. Failure, there can be in different levels. You can fail and lose all your money. You can fail and lose your life. So I guess there's degrees to failure. And I'm actually a little bit annoyed, honestly, because I was really hoping this was going to work out. So yeah, this is the reason why I do these daily readings and daily stoics and daily laws, because life is going to throw you curveballs. And if you don't practice on a daily basis to address them, somebody would say something and your whole day is a mess. Something would happen and then your family cannot count on you anymore because you've lost it. And that's not where I want to be. One of the things that I think it was Jordan Peterson who said is, you want to be the most dependable person at your father's funeral. Like that's like a goal. I guess we're talking for men mostly. I mean, I think we apply for everybody. Like you want to be the person that when the world is crashing, people know that they can count on you. Doesn't mean you should not take care of your mental health or be balanced and take care of yourself. No, that's not what that is saying, because I can see how we can easily just go to, yes, it means forget about your own feelings and your needs and just take care of everyone. But I think when I hear that sentence, I'm thinking of being dependable. And to be dependable, it means you have to be able to deal with your emotions in a healthy way, in a sustainable way, in a way that allows you to still handle the world, which would not stop throwing itself at you. And I think, and I know that many people get emotional about a lot of things. Just, something happens and you get pissed. You fail and the world is against you. Things don't work out the way you were expecting. And I mean, just why me? What is this? What did I do wrong? Why did I deserve this failure? But in most cases, it's not that you deserve any failure or even any success. It's just that life happens. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But all of it is life. And you cannot have one without the other. I think all of it is good. Because if it doesn't work out, if you fail at something, then you found something that A, you're not good at, or A, that, or B, that needs more effort, or that is not yours. Sometimes you fail because that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But you never know. That's the thing that sucks, because you can't exactly see the future and be like, oh yeah, I failed here because if I'd taken this particular path in my life, I would have ended up in this place that was not favorable for me and my generation. But we don't know what will happen if we have succeeded in all the things that we have decided. And I think failure is, as much as it sucks, it teaches us humility. And I think it ties us all together, because when you fail and you see somebody else who has failed, you're able to empathize with them and connect with them. Because when I heard the news this morning about the thing that didn't work out, I thought of the times when I failed in college. If you've been on the channel for a bit, you've probably seen a bunch of videos. I restarted college, 3 times. I went did biochemistry. I failed after a year. I had to restart microbiology. My medical laboratory science, 4 years, failed. Journalism, that I finished. Went for an internship in Douala for a job, failed. Went back to Boya, got a job. Moved to the US, got married. Marriage failed. Like, it's as though for every success you have like 4 or 5 failures, and then you have a win. It's like life, God is giving you like, okay, you know what? It's okay. It's not that bad. Take here's something. Just manage this one for now. And then you take it and you're like, oh my God, life is good. And then you fail. And then when you're about to give up and you push one last time, you get a win. And I think it teaches that humility of, you're not that smart. You're not that intelligent. You're not that special. I think it's a good reminder and a good way for us to connect with each other, because everybody at some point has had to deal with failure at some level. Maybe not extreme, maybe not the worst of the worst type situation, but at some point, everybody has had to deal with something that they did not like, that was uncomfortable, that was not where their goals were. They were expected an outcome that was positive, but it turned out that it wasn't. And it sucks. I don't think anybody should ever tell you that failure is good. Maybe somebody would based on their perspective, but for me, don't expect that from me. I don't think failure is a good thing. I think it can be good, but it's not a good thing. So yeah, that's my rant. Hey, my friend Nadine, welcome to the stream. I am ranting about failure and why I don't think it's a cool thing. Katie's listening. I think Anthony was here as well. Hey. I am good. I'm good. The stream is going to be ending in 10 minutes. I'm doing these 30 minutes daily streams. I've been doing it for 6 days now. I feel pretty excited about it. I almost didn't do it today. I was like, oh, I want to film this video. I've set up my overhead shot. Let me go and film this video instead of making this stream. But then I was like, come God, you made a promise to yourself to do this thing whether people shut up or not. So you just have to do it. So I did. And here we are. 10 minutes left. That's life sometimes. Sometimes just have to do the things that you say that you have to do. A man is his word. And it's something that I've not been particularly proud of, not keeping my word with a couple of things. And it's something that I've decided to change. So yeah. Oh yeah, Nadine, I'm good. I am good. It's like, I don't know if you watched the video that my friend Ryan Lawless did, where we did definition of success, but I've reached a point in my life where my feelings and my thoughts and my well-being is so detached from the internet in a way that I never thought was possible. Like, I feel good sometimes for no reason. I can just sit and be like, you know what? I'm actually good. And that's it. Failure is something that we need to be prepared to have. It's not good or bad. It's just inevitable. Right, Katie? It's just, yeah. I just don't like the thing people are like, look forward to failure, go after it and fail multiple times. Yeah, it's nice and motivationally, but when you're sitting in that feeling and it's not working out, it's not fun. Yeah. All right, Katie, I see your last comment. Yes, I think so. Your kids at home gotta go. All right, thanks for hanging out. I'll be ending the stream in 9 minutes anyway, so don't worry, you'll be all right. Have you been able to find love since your divorce? Well, we'll have to define what love is, and if you can only find love in a marriage, which I don't think that's the case, because I've always had love. I just didn't understand what it was. If your question is, have I been able to find a wife since my divorce? I'll be like, yo, if I told you that I did, you should be worried about me because nobody should be jumping from marriage to marriage like that without having to take care of the things that happen. Every situation allows you to learn. So, to answer your question, I have found love. It's right here. Love myself. Yeah, I'm a millennial. But if you can rephrase your question, maybe I'll give a better answer, Anthony. I read success is how high you bounce when you hit rock bottom. Yeah, I don't know. I think success is how many times you get back up. I don't know if it's about how high, but I think if you're bottom and you get back up, then you're successful. That's what I think. Maybe because I think sometimes we get lost in that height of, okay, I'm not successful enough. I don't have enough money. Well, how much is enough? How much, when do you know that you've been successful? Because you can have a great job that gives you a lot of money, but stresses you the hell out. You have no time for your family, nothing. You can be called yourself successful, but maybe falling to the bottom, which is where you make maybe half of what you're making, you have more time, you're less stress free, you're stress free. That might be success. So I don't know. We'll talk about it, Katie. We should have a conversation about this. Objectively, failure is an elimination of a wrong path. It just sucks. Yeah, that's the feeling that I think people usually remove from it, which is that it sucks. But then it shows you what didn't work. Yeah. For example, I know people who study for the Salesforce Administrator certification, and statistically speaking, most people will fail at least one certification during their journey because there are many certifications with different paths. But almost most of the admins that I know never made it on the first try. Like something that I was surprised because I made mine on the first try. I was like, oh, this thing's cool, it's easy. But I was like, do you know most people don't actually do this on the first try? I like this song. Should save this somewhere. But I'll not play it now because there's too many words in it. But yeah. Yeah. You're right. Listen. I can relate. Failure is not funny. It actually comes with some pain. Anthony says pain has an unusual way of preventing us from making the same mistake. Yeah, it's like we start doing a loss aversion. I'm listening to this book, Never Split. No, not it's Never Split the Difference. Yes, by this FBI negotiator. What's his name? Chris Voss. And one of the things that it talks about is there's an experiment about, I think, give it $10, you have to share the money somehow. We human beings are much more attuned to loss aversion than to actually following after gain. So we are much more likely to avoid pain than to pursue pleasure. I guess if I want to put in that dichotomy, we're much more likely to do one than the other, which is an irrational way of acting. Like if you're going to lose 10,000, but then you could win 15,000, you're much more likely to not take the chance. That's basically what he's saying. So failure teaches you, what doesn't work out. And I think if you fail too much, it might reduce your chances of having to take risks. But now here's the thing. If you fail enough to realize that it's not that bad after a while, because in the moment it sucks. But if you can fail enough to get to the point where you feel like, you know what? I'm still here. I made it. I'm not dead. I haven't lost a limb. I still have my house. I'm still sort of okay, which takes some time, of course. It doesn't happen in a moment. For some people, it happens, I guess, very fast. They get back up faster, like what Katie was talking earlier about bouncing back. But I wonder, I think it's, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, Anthony. So yeah, I'm curious, how do you guys deal with failure? How do you handle moments that don't work out the way you're expecting? I would love to hear if you have any advice for anybody who's watching either the replay or just in here now. Probably have people who are just watching and trying to learn from this failure. So feel free to share some wisdom from your own personal experience or something that you've heard from someone. I would love to read them out here. So yeah. Also, is there something you'd like to see on these streams? I mean, so far I've just been winging it, just showing up here and just talking with the topics, everything. But is there something that you would like to see on the streams more? I was actually thinking of doing some live stream reactions, like instead of recording the reactions and publishing them, or just do the live stream. That should be fun. I think I'm going to try that. Yeah, if it doesn't work out, at least I've learned a way it doesn't work, right, Emerson? I will have learned the wrong path. So yeah. Need to start work in a short moment here. Where's my mouse? Oh, there you are. Yeah, my camera froze for a bit. I noticed that with the software I'm using to connect my M50 to StreamYard, whenever I switch to a different, I don't know, piece of equipment, something, it freezes. So I had to catch that real quick. I don't know if you're. Oh my goodness. Is there anything else? All right. I started getting some work emails. Glad this is ending. Hey Nadine, yeah, failure is so painful but necessary for growth. Yeah, I think we can use failure. Failure can be a great opportunity for change, personal growth, and just improvement as a whole. I think it's a chance to be able to look at, like what Emerson said, failure is an elimination of the wrong path. I think it was Thomas Edison. You know, having failed 1,000 times, I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. But yeah, failure may not be cool, but it can be good. It can be useful. You can use it to grow, to improve, to become better, to learn from what didn't work out. And I think I said it in the live at some point. I don't like the idea of glamorizing failure, but it works. You can learn from it. If you can get back up, put yourself in a position to be able to be in a better place in the future. And in the moment, it never feels nice. It never feels good in that particular moment. But when you look back, yeah, you'll be proud of yourself for having overcome that. So if you're going through a failure right now, if you're dealing with something that is difficult, just think back to any other time that you have failed, see how you dealt with it, and think of the things that you've learned. Because I think here's the key thing. I think if you can use every moment of failure as a learning opportunity for growth, like what Nadine said here, then you may not look forward to it in a morbid, like you want to feel pain type of way. But when the moment comes, because it will, failure will come. You can't avoid it. When it comes, you'll be much more open and receptive to the lessons that it brings. Yeah. Anthony says, my epic failure in the money market, modern day casino, caused me a lot of pain and a few days of depression, to be honest. Forced me to recalibrate and flee from any fast money promising scheme. You see, that is an amazing lesson right there. Hey, Bella, hi. Welcome. Sonia, comment tu vas? Ça fait un bail. So yeah, Anthony, you're right. I think this is a great example. With everybody jumping on the stock market and learning, I myself am investing in the stock market on a very low scale because I've had to understand you need income, and the stock market is a multiplier. If you don't have income, you're basically wasting your time and feeding somebody else. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. When I was going through the divorce, it was a difficult time. There were times when I was like, why, what, why? I mean, you've seen the videos on the channel, right? You've seen the process. I've even recorded. I think I recorded a reaction to Abba and Preach recently about my taste of the red pill. It's wasn't very fun, and I think failure is an opportunity for us to grow, to use the things, and to learn from any opportunity that we have. So, yeah. We may not want failure, we may not like failure, it may suck, but failure teaches us lessons that we can now use to grow. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We're past the 30-minute mark. I would be heading to get ready to work now, and I will see you tomorrow. So Katie, Anthony, Nadine, Sonia, Emerson, really, really nice to have you here hanging out. Just it's a nice feeling to be here to talk and know that people are watching and listening. I appreciate your time. You could be doing 1,000 things and you're right here hanging out with me. So if there is any piece of content that you would like to see, any topic that you want to have addressed, or you can actually even make suggestions for tomorrow's topic, feel free. I'll close this in 2 minutes just because I like round figures. But feel free to leave a comment about something else that may be on your mind right now. Let's talk tech and Cameroon. Brother Bruno Zul, the man, the myth, the legend. I am so removed from what is happening on the ground in Cameroon. I feel like two things. One, I noticed over the years that my writing did no longer appeal to Cameroonians because I was so detached from the society that the things I was talking about were like, yeah, Kamga, I want Nigeria, yeah. Like, yeah, you're in America now. We don't relate to you. And that was actually another failure of mine. Now that I'm talking about failures. It was a time when I was like, man, I wish I'd never traveled because now I cannot relate. I cannot tell stories that Cameroonians can understand. I don't know what's going on. So that's the first thing. I don't feel like I relate to Cameroonian stories as much as I used to. Second thing is, I don't know. I don't know what the second thing is, but there's something I need to think about it. But you know what, Mr. Bruno? Let me think about it. I just don't see the context for my current audience right now. Not that it's not important or that it's not relevant. I personally don't see how this will be helpful to the people that I'm serving. I think where this channel has been going so far is a lot about motivation and inspiration and perspective. And I think tech and Cameroon is very tech and very culturally relevant. But a majority of my audience would not get it. I've done a few interviews with Cameroonians on the channel and they haven't. What am I trying to explain? Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I don't see how this fits with this audience. Because I'm talking about failure, for example, unless we're going to talk about lessons of tech entrepreneurs who failed. But it's a nice topic. I just don't see the relevance to the audience. So yeah, I'll think about it and see how it goes. But if you have another, it's simple. If you see what has been done on the platform so far on the channel and you're like, okay, this would tie with what Kamga is talking about, then that makes sense. Because now we'll try to squeeze it. It's like taking a square and fitting it into a circle. Like, yeah, you can cut the edges and force it and it will fit. But yeah. Thank you for hanging out, Bruno, Bella, Sonny. Please, if you're watching from Facebook, know that this is also streaming on YouTube. You can go ahead and follow me there. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to leave a super chat, it's much appreciated. You don't have to. But hey, feel free to do that. And I'll see you tomorrow. This is day 6 of the live mass. Calling it live mass because people do vlog mass on YouTube and I just couldn't do vlogs because it's too much work. So do lives. And we have 4 more days. We'll be good to go. Failure is excellent. I mean, I'm sure you failed in your own path, Mr. Bruno. You failed. You're probably one of the few people who know the kind of failure that strikes deep in your soul. Yeah. So we should talk. Definitely love to have you on the channel to just have a live conversation. Something I used to do, but I just don't have the energy, and my job is just taking all my time. But you know what? We'll make it work. We will figure it out. So yeah. Talking about failures, tech entrepreneurs will help. You're awesome. Thank you, man. You are awesome as well. I mean, I'm seeing everything that you're doing. I think the only reason why I'm on Facebook these days is because I get to keep in touch with Cameroonians that I admire, people like Bruno, who are tech entrepreneurs in an environment that doesn't exactly promote tech entrepreneurship until maybe very recently. So it's nice to have you on the stream. Thank you for being here. Yeah. On that note, I'm going to end the stream with, my monologue, I guess. I have failed many times. And there were many times when I've doubted my own ability to even overcome those failures. And my failures on a scale may not be as heavy as other people's failures. Sometimes people deal with things that you would never understand, you would never appreciate, and that's okay. I've been myself in positions where I never thought that I would come back from them. The world seemed so dark and so bleak, and it was so difficult that the only thing that felt right was just to escape. I'm just really lucky, I think, by genes, by personality. Maybe it's all the books that I read. I'm very lucky that I've never actually contemplated, like the exit. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Never. And it's something that I think people who have not failed very, very painfully don't really get. You can get to a point where you feel like there's no other way out. But if you're watching this and you're watching the replay or you're listening to this, I want you to know that in the moment, failure is very painful. It can suck. But if you give yourself the opportunity to learn from that failure and to just give time for it to lower and simmer, over time you'll be grateful and you'll feel more powerful and more proud of yourself for being able to have overcome that particular instance. So failure is not the end of the world. You cannot avoid it. It's a necessity for growth. And you can make failure an opportunity to actually speed your growth. So don't feel terrible if you fail. In fact, be proud that you tried and you found a way that doesn't work. So this beautiful Monday, as you start your week, I hope you can look at any instance of failure as an opportunity to improve. It may not be cool, it may not be fun, but if you can learn, then you can make it fun. All right. Let's go and pay our rent. Bye.